It's summer movie season, and this summer, one of the biggest movies hasn't opened yet. No, it's not Harry Potter, and no, it's not Fantastic Four: Rise of the Silver Surfer. It's the Simpsons movie. Everybody knows that. And joining us today, no, it's not Matt Groening, the creator of The Simpsons. It's Chuck Dixon. Chuck does the comic books for The Simpsons. Chuck, thanks for joining us.
Hey, how you doing?
I'm doing all right.
All right.
I know you haven't seen the movie yet. Are you excited about the movie?
Yeah, I think it's easily one of the most anticipated movies, probably of all time, without hyperbole, because they've been talking about Simpsons movie for 15 years now, and they finally got it together.
Now, working on the comic, there's not a direct correlation. However, if the movie is big, that has an effect on you positively, doesn't it?
Yeah, certainly. Any success the movie has, the success moves on down the line, and it'll help the comic sales and trade paperback sales here. What's
it like to write for Bart Simpson, to put words in that boy's mouth?
He's not as hard as some of the others. Homer can be difficult, and Ralph Wiggum is like the Mount Everest, because...
Why is that?
You just never know what's going to come out of that kid's mouth, and to have to think of what's coming out of his mouth, I got to use a portion of my brain that I haven't used in a really long time.
There's a writer's room in Hollywood where there's probably 18 people that are putting words in these characters' mouths. You sit down at your computer, I assume, and you've got to write for all of these characters.
Yeah, it can get lonely, but the people at Bongo Comics they're incredible at backing me up and helping with suggestions, and they're very gentle on rewrites. And the beauty of working on The Simpsons for Bongo is that I'm working directly. Matt Groening oversees it directly. They're very good and very helpful because it's a tough write, especially by yourself. You're right. The show is written by a room full of Harvard grads. So
they got that going against them.
Yeah, so they share in the glory and the failures. But when I fail alone.
Is it difficult to think of things like for Bart and Homer? Especially when there's 20 years of programs that exist, is it hard to come up with new things for them to say?
Yeah, well, plot lines is the difficulty, because there's a South Park episode that they claim that The Simpsons have used every single plot line. There aren't any more left over, so it's a challenge. So when I submit an idea, it's have they done this yet? And it's like a one sentence. And if they say no, they haven't, I'll go on to write a few paragraph proposal. But it's getting harder and harder between the TV show, the comics, and everything else.
You write for other comics. You made a career. You do Batman, you do superheroes, you did Nightmare on Elm Street.
Right.
Batman, there's certainly more Batman stories in existence than there'll ever be Simpsons stories, but you managed to come up with Batman stories.
Well, Batman is drama, and you can finesse drama, but you can't finesse humor. I mean, you can do a situation in an action comic that's been done a bajillion times, and nobody's going to say, "Oh, I saw that in the Die Hard movie." You blow it in a humor thing, and somebody will say, "That was on I Love Lucy 50 years ago." They'll spot the plot line. It's easier to hide the plot line under cool dialogue and neat action scenes, because, I mean, let's face it, every episode of Magnum P.I. had the same plot. And most of these superhero movies have exactly the same plot.